Hello and welcome back to my channel. Dr. Renee here, and today we're actually going to talk about 3 tips on how to improve your libido through diet. I know you're like, what? I can just change my diet and boost my libido? Uh-huh. You want to find out? Let's go. All right, let's get right into it. Tip 1. You're not going to like this, but it's necessary. Cut down on packaged and processed food as well as added sugar. I know, there I said it. But here's the thing. Honestly, you're probably sitting here looking at me going, I don't eat a lot of added sugar or packaged processed food. Before you do anything, I just want you to look at a day. Not even in retrospect. I want you to start today or tomorrow to see exactly what you're eating throughout the day and how much is in a package. And when I say package, I'm not saying a package of just plain green beans or a salad. I'm talking about those packaged processed foods that have the sauces on top and all the 50,000 ingredients, half of which you cannot even pronounce, right? And added sugar. And I've told the story before. Last December, so a year ago, I had food sensitivity testing done, and I was sensitive to sugar. And I was like, no way. I'm telling you, when I step back, I do exactly what I'm telling you to do. I actually looked at the food I was eating in a day. Every single thing I was eating had added sugar. And sometimes it was, or most of the time actually, it was one of the top 3 ingredients, which means it was mostly sugar. Huge awakening for me because I did not think I was having that much sugar. But here's the thing with sugar. Sugar and all the packaged processed food, which contains sugar for a preservative, most likely, it actually starts causing inflammation in your guts. And why does that matter? Well, the inflammation in your gut can actually lead to 2 things. The inflammation can actually lead to something called leaky gut, whereby the tight junction or the cells that are really tight along your gut lining that are supposed to remain tight to keep the bacteria and toxins and undigested food inside the gut. Well, when there's a lot of inflammation, what happens over time, they start separating and causing what they call leaky gut. And bacteria and toxins and undigested food can actually get through into the bloodstream and cause such things as an autoimmune disease. But number 2, a highly processed packaged diet with lots of added sugar can cause inflammation of the gut, also causing an imbalance in the gut microbiome. What does that mean? The gut has a lot of different viruses, bacteria, fungi, all of it. But what happens is when you get a lot of this inflammation from the sugar and the processed food, you start killing off strains of the good bacteria and you get an imbalance between the good and the bad guys. We all have bad guys in our gut, right? But the key is to keep a nice balance between the good and the bad. And what happens further from there is when we start killing off these strains of bacteria and there's an imbalance, 2 things happen. Number 1, there are certain bacteria in our gut that actually break down estrogen. Did you know that? It's called the estrobolome. And if we start harming the nice, delicate balance of the gut microbiome, we actually can kill off bacteria that help us break down our estrogens, ladies. And what does this do if that happens? Well, we become estrogen dominant because we can't break down our estrogen, which can lead to low libido. So, in cutting down on the sugar, packaged, processed food, all of the things, we actually will not disrupt the gut bacteria and we will be able to break down our estrogens, thus leading to a better libido. But number 2, an imbalance in the gut bacteria can actually disturb our production of something called serotonin. Serotonin is our happy chemical. I always call it my don't worry, be happy chemical. And we think it's made in our brain, but over 90% is actually made in our gut by the bacteria. So if we disrupt this nice, healthy gut bacteria and we kill off certain strains, guess what? We actually don't make enough serotonin or as much as we should be making to make us happy. And what happens if you're not happy? You don't want to have sex, right? You have a low libido. So in cutting down the processed packaged food and the added sugar and bringing back the balance in your gut microbiome, you actually can produce sufficient amounts of serotonin. Tip 2, indulge in libido boosting foods. What does that mean? Well, there's certain foods that contain certain nutrients that help with hormone production and hormone balance. The key nutrients are B vitamins, zinc, omega-3 fatty acids, and magnesium. So what kind of foods am I talking about? Well, when it comes to B vitamins, we're talking about nuts and seeds, meats such as chicken, fish, and red meat, and leafy greens. And when it comes to zinc, we're again talking about seeds and red meat like we did the B vitamins, but we're also adding on lentils and beans, and a great source of zinc is shellfish. Moving on to magnesium, some great sources of magnesium are leafy greens again, almonds and avocados, my favorite. I eat avocados every day and almond milk every day. And omega-3 fatty acids. Two of my favorite that I consume on a regular basis are walnuts and salmon, and flax seeds, which actually also help with estrogen production. All right, so tip 3, eat for your cycle. I referenced this when I talked about eating according to your infradian rhythm and actually hacking your infradian rhythm by changing up your nutrition based on your menstrual cycle. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire menstrual cycle again. I did that in the last video. Go check it out. But in the follicular phase, which is our early phase of our cycle, we actually want to increase our consumption of healthy fats and lean proteins and keep the carbs, again, on the lower side. So what does that look like? Chicken, fish, veggies, fermented foods, oats, and seeds are all really great options. Then we move into ovulation. Remember, ovulation is the hot time. Our body temperature actually physically goes up and our testosterone's peaking, we're strong, right? So we actually want to eat cooling foods and raw foods, but we want to focus on things such as berries, leafy greens that are cooling and soothing. Next, we're moving into the luteal phase. And as we're going into the luteal phase, what's going to start happening is our estrogen and progesterone are going to start going up. And we're going to want to focus on foods that are actually going to do a few things. Number one, we're going to increase our healthy carbs because our cravings are going to start going up. And to curb the cravings, we're just going to have to increase our amounts of healthy carbs in order to do a few things like increase the production of serotonin and keep those cravings at bay. So, certain things like my favorite, quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes are all a great choice. The other thing is coming through the luteal phase, right after ovulation, you're actually going to want to start supporting your liver and your gut in that the liver helps break down the estrogens and the gut helps eliminate them. So what does that look like? We want antioxidant support for our liver, and we want increased fiber for our gut to make sure that the estrogens that we actually break down are eliminated into the toilet. Constipation is not a good thing. So you want to make sure that you are increasing your amounts of fiber. And I always recommend fiber. 97% of Americans are actually deficient in fiber. So it's super helpful if throughout the entire month you're consuming an adequate amount of fibers, but just making sure that you're hitting the mark in that second half of the cycle. And then we move into the menstrual phase, which is our actual period. And this is actually going to be going right into the follicular phase. Again, it's a cycle. So we're going right into the beginning of our cycle again. So we're going to switch back again to lowering our carbs and increasing our consumption of healthy fats and lean protein. And that's all I have for you today. I hope this helped. These tips are all really good at helping to not only cut down on the inflammation so you can make the serotonin and break down your estrogens, right, by decreasing your gut inflammation, but actually focus on the foods that are going to give you the nutrients you need to help produce and balance your hormones. And like I said in the last video, again, right here, the infradian rhythm, we don't want to fight our cycle. We want to be in sync with our cycle. We want to optimize our cycle, right? We function so much better when we go by the rhythm of our bodies, which is our menstrual cycle. So eating for your cycle and varying your nutrition throughout the month, because we are not men. We have a 28, 30-day cycle, not a 24-hour cycle. We actually can optimize our health, our body, our hormones, and be a lot happier doing it. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any future videos. I'm telling you, 2021 is going to be amazing. And while you're down there, hit the like button so I know that you enjoyed this video. And if you know someone who's dealing with low libido, why don't you go ahead and share this video with them, because you found it. Now help someone else find this information. And seriously, these are such easy, simple, straightforward tools that they can implement right away to see a change and an improvement in their libido. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I would love to see you. I am Dr. Renee Wallenstein across the platforms, Facebook and Instagram, as well as TikTok if you're over there. And I cannot wait to see you back here next week, same time, same place, and we'll see you then.